I know my workbench is pretty gnarly right now. I'm in between mods, I think, but I'm at a stable enough spot. But I just wanted to quickly show you what I got going on. I'm using John's mods all over the place. These new pregnant end pieces work great. The stability is greatly increased. I've got ABEC 9 bearings on everything, which helps or doesn't, I don't know, but I suppose less resistance is always better. I get cable chain on there, working really good. Cleaning up some of my mess. Still got a bunch of wires back there to clean up, but I've got my printer board in this box back here that's going to eventually have a fan on it. It does get relatively hot, I've noticed. I've got the Bowden set up over here. I'm actually reprinting a new extruder right now that replaces the whole extruder head. I'll figure out how to mount it on there. I think it's pretty good. A pretty good one. Looks like this. But I didn't like the way it printed out, so I'm reprinting it at a different temperature. This is ColorFab XD. It's very finicky when it comes to what temperature you use and what speed you're printing at, so I've got it put on low. I know a lot of people have been complaining about how loud a Printrbot Simple can be. I think I've got this thing pretty darn quiet. I'm using these cork bits. They reduce a lot of friction, or vibration rather, and they add some insulation and spring to the motor mounts so that there's not as much, again, vibration and heat transfer to the plastic, which I think keeps things more rigid. I mean, just listen how darn quiet this thing is. I upgraded to a larger size motor for the Y-axis. It's greatly increased my ability to crank up the speed before my motor would go off track if I went too fast. I would constantly go off track at any sort of lag, or if it catches on a frayed piece of plastic. Anyway, you can just see how smooth this thing is running now. I've got a 1/4 inch piece of aluminum that's not perfectly flat. I want to take it in and get it milled so that it's perfectly flat. Again, I just think this thing is printing so well. Get light in here. So stinking quiet compared to what it was. It used to rattle my whole bench. Now it just runs. Put this little piece on here to keep this track from running into the other track as it went over the bearing. I was having issues with that and vibration, but now I've got this thing tuned to where this belt just doesn't really vibrate like it used to. I'm really impressed with it. John really outdid himself. I mean, this is John's Printrbot. Completely printed. Everything's printed except for the electronics, obviously, and the metal parts. I don't know if it's bright enough down there. See that it's indeed fully printed. Yep. Man, I got a mess to clean up. But I've seen other people's setups. Again, this is the Bowden setup. Working finally, almost perfectly. On an E3D V6. Again, I think I have the auto probe, the level probe finally working properly. And all these parts are printed with ColorFab XT. We've got ColorFab XT for the front piece. This part holding the Bowden, or holding the head end, is a nylon bridge. It's excellent for solid parts that need to be strong, really strong. They're slightly flexible, so I could use it to clamp, and it won't break or anything. I printed this whole Y-axis out of the color. The white stuff is the nylon bridge as well. It's extremely strong. However, it tends to shrink and curl a little bit as it loses moisture. So I think it's pulled these rods out of alignment slightly. However, with how well it's working, I'm hesitant to reprint it with something else. It just seems to really be working well. Well, that's the update on where my printer's at. Hope you got some information. If you have any questions, let me know. This is, you know, a big step away from where we started with the original Printrbot Simple. Really excited to see what John puts out next, if he graces us with more fantastic models. I would love to see another Bowden on the other side of this thing. You know, one on one side, one on the other, or two next to each other. I think it'd be relatively simple to set up. I've thought about sort of guessing on how to do it. Wouldn't be too hard. But taking the motor off of this thing and putting a Bowden on has greatly improved its performance, I have to say. Once you tune the Bowden and get it working, it's just fantastic. Yep. Anyways, that's my printer. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know.